Well, hey guys, happy week after Christmas. Way to go for plugging into this. And I want to start out by saying you are so lucky that you have an amazing director or senior director in Susan McCoy. She is one of my favorite people of all time. And the thing I love the most about Susan is that she's somebody that truly makes everybody feel important, no matter who they are. And she really epitomizes that about Mary Kay. So I know you know this about her already, but just don't take for granted what a remarkable director that you have. Well, my name is Kendry. I've been in Mary Kay for 19 years. And, I'm going to share with you today a little bit about my approach to sales, a little bit about my approach to follow-up, and then an idea at the end that I think might be helpful to you. When I started out in the company, I was very unsure of myself and very intimidated about selling anything. I had some very strong limiting beliefs around sales. And so hopefully this will be helpful to you as you kind of see how I've shifted in that area. I have done the National Court of Sales, I think 16 times, and I'm already done for the year this year. Like I've already completed that, which I've never done in the first half of the year. But it's not because I'm doing anything extraordinary. I'm not working a gazillion hours. I don't have 1 million customers. I have about 400 customers, all said and done. And some of those are better customers than others, obviously. Some of them are on repair and some of them are on mascara, But let me kind of give you an idea of how my approach to sales has changed. So when I started out, I think part of the thing that plays into this is that our own spending habits impact how we think other people's spending habits are or should be. So for example, when I was a customer for about 4 years before I became a consultant, and I really wasn't a great customer. I wasn't on a ton of products. I was using some of the skincare and I was buying the eyeliner and I think eye makeup remover. And that was really about it. Like this was before the Miracle set came out, but I wasn't even really probably using all the pieces of the basic skincare set at that point. Anyhow, I didn't spend a lot of money on skincare or makeup, in other words. And so when I was a new consultant, I couldn't imagine people spending hundreds of dollars on personal care products because I didn't. So that might be you. That might impact the way that you look at selling the product. If that is you, maybe you're new, or maybe you are just real low maintenance or whatever, what we spend money on shows what we value. And I was in my 20s when I started using the product, and I was 27, I think, when I became a consultant. And so that impacted too, my money went to different things at that stage of my life, and I wasn't seeing the signs of aging really yet. So all that to say, don't put your thoughts about what is expensive or not expensive on somebody else. Have you compared the market lately? Sometimes I'll ask people, what are you using or whatever, and they'll tell me. And I have a newer consultant who was buying something online, and I just recently asked her, she switched over to repair, and I said, tell me what, the basic, what was the cost of what you were buying that she really liked before she started using the repair set. And she told me, and it was, it was maybe about comparable in price to the repair line, but she was having to buy a new set every month. And we know that the repair set lasts a lot longer than a month, right? It usually lasts 3 to 5 months. So the use up rate on a lot of our products is so much better. But if you haven't shopped the market lately, even looking at some of the better brands at Target or Walmart, our products are not that much more expensive. So let me give you kind of my basic philosophy when it comes to selling the product. I don't look at it as I'm going to sell her something, because that doesn't really feel that great. I don't love that verbiage. I never say I sell Mary Kay. It just doesn't sound good to me. And so I look at it as I'm connecting people with products that are going to work for them, that are going to make their lives easier, that are going to make them feel more beautiful, that are going to make them feel more confident. I'm connecting people with the product, and then of course with the opportunity as well. So when you hear the word connecting, that's a really positive word, right? Versus sales just kind of has some weird connotations to it. So connecting people with products that work for them, that make their lives easier, that make them feel more beautiful and more confident. I also kind of had an issue where I felt like I was taking her money. We have all kinds of issues around money, don't we? When there's an exchange of money, we feel like, this is somehow weird or whatever. And early on, somebody gave me this example, and it's not exactly, a straight analogy, but I think it's helpful. So when you go to the grocery store and you put your products on the belt and she scans them, or whoever, the cashier tells you your total, do you feel like, oh my gosh, they're asking me for money? No, you are exchanging your money for a thing, for a banana or a bread or whatever it is. And so you don't feel like she's taking your money. You just know I'm going home with something in exchange for the money that I am giving. And so that helped me. It's not like I'm just going to somebody and asking them for money. No, I'm giving them a product that's going to work for them, that's going to make them feel more beautiful and more confident. It's going to change their skin. It's going to change the way they feel about themselves. So I don't feel badly about an exchange of money at all anymore, but I had a really big hang up around that. So those are just a few things that are just part of kind of the way I look at sales. And I love selling this product. I love seeing somebody go, oh my gosh, my face feels really great, or I love this eye look, or I can do this, or you just simplified things for me. I just literally, right before I started recording this, got a text from a newer client, and she's using Repair. She's a little older than I am. And she was like, I have to give you a shout out. I just got another compliment on my skin from someone who does not give compliments easily. It's just such a good feeling when you get that message. And, I don't get those all the time, but I do reach out and find out, are you getting compliments? Like, are you loving your skin? That kind of thing. This is also a little plug for keeping products in stock, because it just gives you that edge. It just gives you that ability to be the person who can say, yes, I have it. Yes, I can. Yes, you can have it today. Yes, you can swing by on your way home from work tomorrow. Yes, I can meet up with you. So it just gives you an edge in being able to be that resource for people. I want to be the resource person. I want to be the go-to girl when somebody needs something. I can say, yes, I have it. All right. That was just a little side note. All right. So I told you I'd talk to you a little bit about follow-up. And this is another area where I think sometimes we have some limiting beliefs and we have a little bit of struggle around this. And I know I have really had to work on increasing my skills in this area. You know, just as well as I do, that everybody is getting dozens, if not, hundreds of types of communication, messaging, all that kind of thing from everywhere, right? So we're getting it from our friends and family. We're getting it from marketing messages. We're getting it from, the dentist and the doctor's office and all of those things. So there's lots of information coming into each person's phone every single day, whether it's a phone call, a text message, or an email, or Facebook message. Okay, those are probably the four main ways that we're getting communication outside of just like advertising and that sort of thing. And so I have an assumption. This is kind of just like the story I tell myself that I think is helpful because it gives us the right expectation. So frankly, I'm surprised when somebody responds to me on my first message. Now, when they do, it is fantastic. I love it when somebody gets back to me right away, but I don't expect it. I expect she has seen that message when she's in the middle of doing something else. Or it came through, she couldn't respond right then, and she got 10 other messages that buried it down further in her phone. For the most part, I communicate mostly by text. That's not to say you shouldn't call. It's not to say you shouldn't email, that kind of thing. But that's my primary form of communication. One thing that I really like to do too is a voice text. Now, if you have an Android, you can do that with, anybody. If you have an iPhone, I think you can only voice text iPhone to iPhone, but you can also do this in a Facebook message. So it's kind of like a hybrid of, a phone call and a text message, so they can hear your voice. This is not voice to text. I mean, that's helpful too, but a voice text where they are getting a message via text or via, Facebook message, but it's you talking. And, there's some pros and cons there. This isn't about how to communicate necessarily, but the story I tell myself when I don't hear back from somebody is it's my job to follow up. And it's not coming across as, oh, there she goes again. Oh, getting tons of messages from her. Also, this is not every single day. Okay. You can be annoying. Trust me, you can be. So don't do that. Part of it is having enough customers that you're not talking to the same people every day. Okay. So some of it is volume. I don't have time to harass my customers, but it's going to sound something like, hey, Susan, did you get my text message the other day? I would love to get together with you for a holiday makeover. Or, hey, I don't know if you saw my message, but we have this, we're doing New Year's makeovers, on Friday. And I wanted to see if you're free. Hey, are you able to hop on? Just checking back with you. I wanted to circle back with you and see, just touching base. These are kind of the words that I use. This is the verbiage that I use. So touching base, following up, circling back, checking in, those kinds of things. You are helping her. Have you ever had it where, you got a message from somebody and then you forgot to message them back and they message you again and they're like, hey, just checking in. And you're like, oh, thank goodness. I'm so sorry. I meant to message you back. A lot of times if you're asking somebody for a specific thing, a specific time, what they do is they think to themselves, I need to check my calendar. And they can't do it right that second, or they don't do it right that second. And so then they forget. And have you ever done that where you're like, okay, I don't want to respond until I know if I can go or not. So you don't respond right away. Really what we should do, what everybody should do is say, let me check my calendar. I'll get back to you. But usually we don't do that. Usually we just don't say anything, right? And then we forget to get back to somebody. So it's helpful to her when you follow up and you say any of those words, will this work for you? And if it doesn't, sometimes I'll even put that in a text message like, hey, we're doing holiday makeovers or we're doing New Year's makeovers on the 30th. Would love to see if you could make it. If not, let's find another time to get together soon. So you've got, kind of a second option in there if that date and time doesn't work for her. Then it's not like, well, you can't do this. Can you do this? Oh, you can't do that. Can you do that? And then you feel like you're just kind of on that hamster wheel. So the follow-up, you can be persistent. You can do a good job of follow-up without being obnoxious. And mostly it is making sure that you have a wonderful heart going into it, that you have the right motivation, and that you're just communicating, I want to spend some time with you. Now, that doesn't mean that you're spending time with her in person necessarily. This could be, a lot of you are doing all virtual, and that's great. I know Susan is doing all virtual. I'm doing a hybrid. I really enjoy the in-person, and I really enjoy the online. There's pros and cons to both. So mostly if I'm going to do something in person, she's coming to me for a one-on-one appointment, and I just want to spend some time getting to know her better. I can develop that relationship more deeply. I can talk to her about the opportunity, all of that. All right. Let me see here what I'm forgetting from my notes. All right. So we've been talking a lot about developing customers, developing sales. Here is my personal perspective, and this is not everybody. This is just with my strengths. I feel like my hair is just constantly in my face here. So for me, I feel like developing a customer, getting a new customer is easy. It is for everyone, and it gives me some influence because I just truly believe that if she doesn't have Mary Kay on her face, she's missing out. Her face is not the best it can be. I have that 100% to my bones belief that everyone should be on this product. Everyone should be on this product. So developing customers is easy. It's for everyone. And it gives you some influence in her life. You can be an encourager. You can, she might be a new friend. She's somebody that you're going to check in with several times a year to see if she's running low on her products, that kind of thing. Now, let's just take 1 second and talk about how to add people to your team alongside this, because customers are, of course, going to be your best consultants, your best team members. And so from my perspective, a consultant, building a team member is going to take a little bit more investment. It's going to take more emotional investment because it's maybe it feels like a bigger ask for somebody to join your team than to try the product. It takes a little bit more emotional and time investment just overall in layering her and giving her opportunities to hear about the opportunity. So it's not that it's harder. It's just going to take a little bit more investment of yourself. For me, I always feel like the rejection component is a little higher. However, the reward is also a lot higher. So it's maybe more investment. It's for most everyone. Okay. I'm going to exclude a few people that I'm like, oh, I don't think I could spend a lot of time with her. But it's for most everyone. I don't feel that way about very many people, but there are a few where you're just like, oh, I just don't think she's growth oriented, or she's really negative, or there's some big red flags. But on the same token, so more investment, a little bit more, it's for most everyone, but you have so much more influence. When somebody goes from being a customer to being a consultant, you get so much more time to pour into her. Now, as a consultant yourself, that doesn't mean you have to teach, train, and coach, but it does mean that you get to do life together more, and it's so much more fun. All right, let me wrap up with my idea for you. This is something I started doing in April, and it's been really successful for me. This will be most successful if you have a lot of Facebook friends, or you have a significant customer base. If you're brand new, this doesn't mean you can't do this, especially if you have a large circle of influence that aren't your customers yet. That's great, but you do want to have a little bit more volume here. But wherever you are, you could start with this. And it is doing a Facebook birthday party each month. Okay. So what that means is I invite everybody who are already my customers. Of course, hopefully you're getting their birthday when you're doing their customer profile. And then on Facebook, of course, you can see who has birthdays in that month. And I create a new group every month, and it just says, December birthday pop-up. Okay. So I invite everybody to the group, and I'm going to do a Facebook party. I don't send samples for this one because mostly everybody, not everybody, but a lot of them, most of them are currently my customers already. So I run it just like a basic Facebook party and I use Visly. You might use something else, or you might do your Facebook parties differently. But I tweak a few of the posts to be birthday specific. So for example, when I talk about the boosters, I'm like, are you starting to see some of the signs of aging showing up in those forehead lines, or, that kind of thing? We're all feeling our age these days, that sort of a thing. So some of them are a little bit more birthday focused, but in general, they're mostly the same. But here's the little twist. I got this idea actually from my Pampered Chef consultant. She does this. And so it's called a shared rewards party. The way it works, and I can send Susan the graphic if you want it, but basically when somebody orders, the group orders determines the discount. So I already give everybody 15% off in their birthday month. That's just what I personally do for birthdays, but they can get a higher discount based on the sales of the party. So nobody is a hostess, but they're getting a higher discount as the orders go up. So let's just say I've set my numbers pretty low because I really want them to get the higher discount for their birthday. But anything up to $100 in sales, again, super low, they get their regular 15% off. So if the party doesn't go over $100 in sales, they're just getting their regular 15%. If it's up to 150, they get 20%, and anything up to 200, they get 20%, and then anything over 200, they get 25% off. It's not hard to get $200 in sales in a Facebook party, and I think I've only had 1 month where I didn't get to that, and they just got their regular 15%. So the goal is for everybody to get 25% off in the party. So I just, kind of keep track of it. The party runs for, I think, 4 or 5 days, and it's just a way to be able to reintroduce customers to new products, to get them more engaged, that kind of thing. I do a giveaway just like I normally do. I usually do the masking minis. If those are going away, I'll do an eye makeup remover or something small like that as well. And they just get entries for their comments and that sort of thing. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to you. I hope that you have had a little bit of a mindset shift with the way that you sell and the way that you follow up. And let me know if you try that Facebook party idea, or if you have any additional questions. So again, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for plugging in and for being present, because guess what? Your presence matters. Have a great day.